Oh my. Hi everybody, I'm Skip Alsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show where it is an all-out pollen war here. It's brutal. All the cars are yellow. Any time that I go outside, like within an hour, my eyes are all itchy and my nose is on fire. It's bad. That's when we normally just hang out inside and sit quietly and watch old films. And that's what we will do today. Thanks everybody for tuning in on Friday and for the Wonder Cat Armageddon. Lots of Wonder Cat. And it's funny. The comments just cracked me up. And my wife, Katrina, read many of them and was just laughing. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate a good joke. So no Wonder Cat today. I'm not showing any. And yes, I have some more. I'm just gonna save them for a rainy day, but not today. All right. Here's Encyclopedia Britannica. Now this is part of the Wonder Walk series. Totally different. Doesn't have that damn animated cat in it. All right. What do they eat? Enjoy.
This is a story about a girl named Eva.
So this is during a time that Encyclopedia Britannica was doing a lot of non-narrative. There was no narration, so they would show something. They would show a series of scenes, and then it would encourage discussion afterwards, based on what the kids saw. And so that's a departure from having this kind of voice of God narration that kind of talks about things. And so there's this Wonder Walk series. There's all the Magic Moment films, which we have shown, which have all the crazy, kind of provocative imagery to get kids excited about what they're watching and kind of talking about it and writing stories about it and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's several in this series where there's this pretty awesome music, and then they show animals doing different things. So it's pretty great. All right, behind me we have a film on the scanner, and this is part of the Coronet series that we've been showing. My interns have been finding them on the shelves, and we've been getting them prepped for scanning. This is Community Helpers, School Workers. Enjoy.
Class.
Good morning, sir.
We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
In this school, we've changed only one thing: the ages.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
The older people are the students. The younger people are teachers and other school workers.
A nation under God, indivisible.
Do you think this would work?
Liberty and justice for all.
Sure it would. For a while, anyway.
First thing this morning, we are going to review our may-I's.
What sort of things could children teach adults?
You forgot to say may I. Well, we all forget sometimes. Let's try it again. Linda, stand up.
Well, how about things that adults may have forgotten?
First two steps are to get on the skateboard. Put your right foot and then your left.
Children could also teach adults things they've never learned.
Up so the side is facing the point. Try it. Come on, straighten out those backs. Needs more practice. Come on. Try to keep yourself balanced.
Robert, I hear you're having a problem. Come into my office and we'll discuss it. I'm sure we can work it out with the help of your children.
This might be fun for a while. But that young teacher would soon be faced with a serious problem. In this classroom, he'd have to teach doctors, mechanics, store clerks, plumbers, sailors, farmers, ball players, office workers, airline pilots, maybe even a United States senator.
I can't teach all these people. I haven't been through high school yet.
Well, you don't have to. This is just pretend. In fact, We'd better let these adults go now. The truth is, they have jobs and other duties they must do. In the community, these grown-ups must print the newspapers, take care of the sick, build places to live, and keep the community supplied with services, food, and clothing. Do you think they had to go to school to learn to do these things? Well, they certainly had to learn to read and to write and to do mathematics. Studying science helped them learn to help others. The study of history and literature helped them to understand the world and be better citizens.
My name's Charles Lacer. I live on Oxford Road.
Learning about art and music helps them to express themselves and to enjoy the works of others. Someday their children will grow up and want to do these things too. The parents know before that can happen, the children will have to study and learn. Who is going to teach them?
I would like to teach the children, but I'm busy all day carrying the mail.
I'd like to, but if I don't stay here and work on these vehicles, they'll never get done.
And people have to work in the restaurants, or we won't be able to eat out. What a busy community needs are people who will devote their whole day just to the children. So some people decided to become teachers and school workers. Their job in the community would be helping the children learn. Here's how it works. School workers pay other people in the community for food, clothing, gasoline, car repair, and whatever else they need. And the other community workers pay the school workers for teaching the children and taking care of the school. Let's go back a moment. Remember our classroom full of doctors, office workers, sailors, clerks, and pilots? Can you tell which is which? No, nobody can tell just by looking at them in a classroom. And just imagine if this were a real classroom. Now it's even harder to tell which one will grow up to be a doctor, which a business person, and so forth. What does the teacher think about that?
I look at the children, and what I see are all kinds of wonderful hopes for the future. I don't know what they'll be when they grow up. That's up to each one of them. My job is to help them learn so they can become whatever they want to be.
To do that, the teacher first had to go through all levels of school: elementary school, junior high, high school, and college. In college, this person and a friend decided to make teaching their career. They and other college students were studying subjects that most children wouldn't understand. Then they realized something important. The only reason they could learn grown-up things was because, as children, they had learned to think and study in their early years of school. So they decided it was important to teach children, and that was what they would do.
190. Be very careful that when
After years of study, he got a job teaching children in another city.
from the ones column over to the tens.
Who can tell me who are
She applied to the school board in this community and was hired to teach this class.
Right. Can anybody tell me where there are refugees right now? A lot of them.
In Thailand?
Kind of close to there.
Of course, not all people who work at a school are teachers. Before we go in and look, can you name some of the other jobs people have at your school? There's the teacher in charge of the whole school, the principal. When a classroom teacher gets sick, the principal has to find a substitute. There are books to order, records to keep, and special school events to plan. The principal has to keep track of everything that's going on in the school.
Mr. Harris? This is Tom Jerome at Nottingham. Could you come in this afternoon and help us out in the 2nd grade? Good. We'll see you about 12 o'clock then.
Oh, Megan, does it hurt badly? Okay, I'll call your mom. What's your number?
54231.
The school secretary types newsletters, reports, programs, talks to parents, and helps teachers and students in many ways. If a child gets hurt on the playground or has a temperature, the school nurse is trained to know just what to do. Often it's the nurse who discovers when a child needs glasses or has other problems. And there are the school custodians. Without them, the building would soon be a mess. School bus drivers are certainly important to children who live far from the school. On cold winter mornings, it's sure nice that they always remember to come by. And many schools have cafeteria workers. It's not the same as preparing meals for one small family. They have to prepare enough to serve hundreds, and to know what foods keep children healthy. All of these people are devoting their lives to helping children learn. Do you think children understand that? Denise, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an explorer.
Do you think explorers have to know how to read and do mathematics?
Yes.
Sure. How else are they going to be able to read maps and directions? Or figure out how much to pay for travel tickets and meals and places to sleep? Dave, what do you want to be?
Either a television newsman or draw cartoons.
Does a television newsman have to be good at reading?
Sure, he has to read the news.
A cartoonist must have to read a great deal to know what to make cartoons about. And if he couldn't write, he couldn't tell us what the cartoon characters are saying. Daryl,
Yes?
what do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to take care of all kinds of animals and be a veterinarian.
What do you hope to be, Kevin?
I want to be a teacher.
Well, maybe someday you will be a teacher, or explorer, or nurse, or mechanic, or doctor, or artist. The fact is, with the help of your school workers, you can be anything you learn to be.
It does sound like Peter Graves from Mission Impossible. Unfortunately, there's no... I'll have to see if there's any... Let's see. Hold on. So why did I say it was Cornet? Well, this was during that time, that awkward time, when Cornet owned Centron. There's no teacher's notes in here, so no credits, unfortunately. So I don't know. Maybe somebody can look it up on Google and see if Peter Graves ever did work for Centron. All right, what do we got? I believe this is another Centron film. If You Knew How I Feel, Brad's Learning Disability, and this is about. This is a film that's probably made in the late 80s. It's beginning to talk about things like dyslexia and other types of things that make it difficult for kids to learn I think I've never been diagnosed as such, but I feel like I have a slight dyslexia that makes it difficult for me to read long texts. It could just be ADHD too. Who knows? Anyways, here is Brad's learning disability. Enjoy.
Okay, we're gonna play kickball today. The bases are already set, and I'd like Bill and Stacy to be team captains. Okay, pick your teams.
Here, Bill. I pick Brad. Nobody cares whether I play or not. They never do. Okay, Christy, you take outfield. Can't I just watch? Miss Yodger says everyone has to play. I'm always the last one picked, and I know why. I must be the worst player there is. I wish I never had to play kickball again. I wish, but wishing doesn't change anything.
Everybody quiet.
Messing up in the game was bad enough, but now this. I don't know what it is about Brad Mason. Sorry. But he's one person I could do without, especially today. But we ride the same bus, so from the time I start to school in the morning, there he is. He thinks he's so smart. Boy, is he wrong.
Write out the answers to the questions on page 262, chapter 10. You may use your books if you need to.
What page did you say?
Page 262, Brad. You have 30 minutes, so take your time. If you haven't finished when the bell rings, just hand in whatever you have.
When he gets to class, Brad Mason stops acting smart and starts playing dumb. Miss Rogers, I don't understand this question.
What is friction? That's where to start.
Oh, that one. It's the next one I didn't get.
Take them in order, Brad, starting with what is friction?
If you ask me, he's just lazy. Back when we were learning to read, Brad was too lazy to do it, and now he'll never catch up. Not that he tries, he either guesses or he tricks the teacher or somebody into reading everything for him.
Miss Rogers, I still can't understand the second question.
Okay. Everyone hand in their papers to the left.
He just wastes time, but he gets by with it and gets special attention because of it. A teacher they call the LD teacher comes in and goes over stuff all the rest of us had to learn a long time ago.
Well, were.
Right. Very good. Okay. Now, this one's a little bit different. Now, what's this first sound?
What?
Okay. The rest of the word?
Where?
Right. Right. Very good. Okay. Now, what's this one? Sounds it out.
So? Oh, was. I get those two mixed up a lot.
And were to lay the blame. And they went in a body to...
How about that? Nobody else in the room pretends he can't tell one word from another. But Brad Mason does. And that rates him something special.
Thank you, Andy. Christy? Christy?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Would you read the next paragraph starting with, "But they didn't smile for long"?
But they didn't smile for long, for the storm went on, and no one had ever seen the like of it. The thunder roared and the lightning split. Afternoon recess wasn't as bad as the morning one. I was with Terry.
Teamwork. Good, Christy and Terry.
You feel all right if you can make yourself useful somehow. Terry's neat. All of us are sorry about the wheelchair, but you don't have to feel sorry for him, because he doesn't. About the time I decided this might not be such a bad day after all.
Christy, I wonder if you could stay a minute after the bell rings. I'll see that you don't miss your bus.
What'd I do? I thought sure she was mad at me for something.
Christy, I need your help. You're one of our best readers, and I need someone who's really good at it. You've probably noticed that Brad isn't as good at reading as you are, that he has a problem. He understands what he hears, but when it comes to reading... Christy, all of us have certain strengths and certain weaknesses. Your strength is reading, but Brad doesn't have that advantage. He's smart, but he just can't learn some things as easily as a good reader might. That's why the LD teacher works with him.
Is that what LD means? Can't read?
No. LD stands for Learning Disabled. It means there's something wrong that Brad can't help. But many times, an LD child can show improvement if he works hard and the rest of us work with him. Sometimes a learning disability can even be outgrown.
But what can I do?
You can share your strength with him. You can read him things that he isn't able to read by himself right now. That way, he can hear things that he isn't quite able to handle in written form yet.
Well, okay.
Good. We'll talk about it later. You don't want your bus to leave without you.
I still thought Brad could read if he wanted to. That he was just using other people to keep from doing things himself. But, okay, I'd help Miss Rogers, even if it meant being stuck with Brad. So I started reading to Brad, something nearly every day. Social studies, science, so he'd know what the rest of us were talking about in class. It wasn't so bad. I felt like it was an honor, sort of. Proof that I was kind of special, to be picked to help Miss Rogers and the LD teacher. I never thought what it must feel like for Brad.
How long does it take for the complete life cycle of the fruit fly to occur? How long does it take for the larva to hatch? But insects grow and change in a different way from most animals.
From egg to adult, they change form several times.
Metamorphosis.
What?
Metamorphosis, that's what you call it. When larva changes into pupa and then into an adult.
Did I already read this to you?
No, my grandfather told me when he helped me start my butterfly collection.
Well, if you think you know what it says, why don't you go ahead and read it?
The only... I can't read.
The minute I did it, I knew I'd done just what Miss Rogers said not to do. Make Brad feel bad because he needed help. Just the way he said, I can't.
Class, it's time to go. Christy, Brad, you have 5 minutes.
For some reason, I thought how I feel when it's time to play kickball. And I know I'm gonna mess up. For the first time, I knew that was the way Brad felt. When he had to try to read and knew he couldn't. If I'd just have kept my big mouth shut.
I was saving that seat for somebody.
Yeah, well, I only wanted to tell you. I want to see your butterfly collection.
Why?
Because that's what I was thinking of entering in the science fair. A butterfly collection.
All I have to do is catch some and mount them. Hey, Jay, I was saving you a seat.
If I caught some and brought them over, would you show me how to mount them?
I guess. Now move. Jay's coming. What do you want?
You said you'd help me with my butterflies.
I did?
Yeah, remember the ones for the science fair? You said if I caught some, you'd show me how to mount them.
Who is it, Brad?
Oh, just with the kids from school, Mom. I haven't got time right now.
Hello. Brad, where are your manners? Introduce your friend.
Hi, my name is Christy Carson. Brad promised to help me with my butterfly collection for the science fair. He's going to show me how to mount them.
Brad didn't tell us about a science fair. Maybe he could enter his collection, too. His grandfather specializes in the study of insects, so Brad has had some help. But he's done most of the work himself, and his collection is really quite good.
Aw, Mom.
No, Brad, now don't put yourself down. It is a good collection. See if you don't think so. Go on, Brad, show her.
Golly, so beautiful, and so many.
It just takes a while to get them straight.
You're gonna think mine are awful.
Caught in my hand, didn't ya? That damages their wings, rubs all the scales off. If you're gonna collect butterflies, you gotta learn how to do it right. How?
Brad knew a whole lot more about science than the rest of us. I'd been wrong about him. He wasn't dumb or lazy. There was something about reading he couldn't handle, just like Miss Rogers said. And it seemed to be something wrong with the way he saw words on a page.
Then. Were.
You're going to have to write this one, Brad.
Oh, where? I knew that.
Yeah, you just need a little bit of practice. Okay, look at it. Okay, now write what you saw. You got it. Like you said with butterflies, it takes a while to get them straight. I thought Brad was about to get the hang of reading, and maybe he was even beginning to think so. But with some of the other kids...
What's this?
Read it and find out. Or maybe you'd rather have Christy read it to you.
Lay off, Linda. You don't make fun of Terry.
I wasn't making fun of him. I was only joking.
No, you weren't. You were acting as if he wants to be read to. Well, he doesn't. He wants to be just like everybody else, but he's not, so he tries the best he can. It's okay, Christy. No, it's not. Somebody's got to tell him.
I guess it's easier for other people if your problems are something they can see.
Mom, an honorable mention.
That's wonderful. Good work.
You must be Terry.
Yes?
Is this your project?
Yes.
Congratulations, I'm the judge. I really liked it.
Hi, Terry. Hi, Adrian.
People act different toward Terry than they usually do toward Brad.
Oh, I made the D backwards. No, you didn't. See? You're doing fine. Go on. What's the next one? Let me see.
Brad wouldn't enter his butterflies in the science fair. Said he'd had too much help from his grandfather and me. Because, you see, I had this idea. It wouldn't be so boring to copy stuff over and over if you were learning to write words that were important to you. So I said I'd help him label his collection. Boy, I didn't know what I was getting into, what I had to learn. Hard words like Aphrodite fritillary and tiger swallowtail, and whether it was my idea or just having a friend around who believed in him. Brad was having nowhere near the trouble he used to have. It made me feel real good.
Okay, you have your captains. Pick your teams.
But not as good as I felt later.
I pick Greg. I pick Andy. Stacy. I pick Christy. Oh, she's got to learn somehow.
I'm still not much good at sports, but I'm not always the last one picked anymore, because now I try. Brad taught me that. You've got to keep trying. Nobody's perfect. We've all got our strengths, and we've all got our weaknesses. And sometimes sharing our strengths just takes a word or two. Whatever will help somebody else keep trying to handle a handicap.
Oh man, my mouse just flies off the table. Holy cow. Trudy Travis wrote that. Trudy Travis was one of Centron's main writers, and I really feel like she gave Centron a heart that other educational film companies didn't quite have. Like the early films, like The Outsider and The Bully, all of them tend to have this, they're open-ended. They have kids kind of processing what to do in case of all these different things. It's all about the kids processing. The adults are kind of on the periphery. And Trudy Travis was really phenomenal. Did lots and lots of educational films, probably hundreds of them. And so this is probably one that was a lot later in her career. So the next film we have is another. This was released by Centron, but was made by the Flotha. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's Floethe. Anyways, they made some notorious Centron films. One of them is All My Tomorrows, which is about the girl who takes pills and wine and then ends up in a coma for the rest of her life. There is suddenly that title just escaped me. The one where it's narrated as well. A boy drinks and drives and dies, and he is narrating what led to his death. I think this deals with kids and sex. It's called It's Up To Laurie. I've watched a little bit of it, but I'm excited to watch it with you. It's Up to Laurie. Enjoy.
I think I've heard of it.
It's got 8 parts.
Ah.
That's good.
Yeah, I did.
You know that test? That real hard one that he has in economics?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't that hard.
Oh, wow, but I don't think I'm going to do so hard on that because I'm not doing good in this class.
Well,
it's coming up in 2 or 3 days.
I'll have to study.
You're going to come and sit when you go to the doctor. Sandy comes.
Oh, baby.
Huh?
The baby.
He's really... You deserve it. You had a hard day.
Yeah, really.
There you go. Get the chocolate.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So you don't drip all over yourself. Yeah. I didn't even have any of mine yet.
Well?
I like mine.
I like mine.
Couldn't control her. Beautiful. Are you gonna help me with my test?
Yeah. What is it you get? You just back from school? Mom's already home from work, and I've just finished with my paper route.
Mind your own business, Ralph.
I guess I'd better be going.
Yeah. Call me.
The way you two talk on the phone, it's a good thing it's not long distance.
Oh, hush. You're just trying to sound like Daddy.
Bye.
Put your books down, Laurie. I want to talk to you.
What's on your mind?
I think you know.
Oh, Mom, you're not going to fuss about Jimmy again.
Sit down, young lady. I happen to have your welfare in mind.
But I haven't done anything wrong.
I didn't say you had.
Oh, Mom, everybody goes out with a guy.
But not always the same one.
Things are different now. You just don't understand anything anymore.
What doesn't your mother understand?
Oh, it's this Jimmy thing, Neil. They're too young to be seeing so much of each other.
Your mother's talking to you for your own good.
I'm not doing anything.
I don't mind him being your friend, but you spend all your spare time with him.
Never liked the kid, mooning around here like a sick puppy. If he were a real boy, he'd be out playing football or basketball or something.
Daddy.
Don't know Daddy me. I don't like him and I don't want to see him here.
You have your whole life in front of you. Spending so much time with one person can only mean trouble.
You don't trust me.
It isn't a matter of trust. I know human nature. I also know what that kid's after. Now, I don't want him crawling around here. Now, you're not going to see him all the time. You're not going to see him at all, and that's settled.
Hey, what's wrong, Laurie?
I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you last night. We had an awful fight at our house. They don't want me to see you anymore.
They can't do that.
I'm not going to let them. It isn't fair. They just don't understand anything.
Look, we gotta talk this thing out.
Yeah. Tonight, I tell them we're going to Julie's house. Meet me there, okay?
Okay. I can't lose you, Laurie. I like you so much. No, I think I love you.
Me too, Jimmy. You mean means so much to me.
Is the coast clear? Yes, I'm babysitting at the Johnsons. They won't be home until after 12. And the kids are asleep.
I'll be over. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm sure glad Mom went away for the weekend.
Jimmy, you do love me, don't you?
Of course. Every time I see you, I want to be with you more.
Being with you is super. But sometimes, Jimmy, I get worried.
Don't worry, Laurie. It's all so wonderful. Just don't think about anything but how wonderful it is.
Jimmy, I'm worried. I'm 2 weeks overdue.
Take a hot bath. A real long hot bath.
I have, Jimmy, lots of them. It hasn't worked.
I'll talk to Roger. He knows a lot about these things.
Jimmy, I think I ought to tell my mother.
Don't do that. It's only 2 months. Everything can still be all right. Roger's getting some different pills you can try.
I don't think they're gonna do any good. Jimmy, we have to do something. All my clothes are getting too tight. Mother even talked about how I was gaining weight. Jimmy, I think we should run off and get married.
How are we going to do that? I don't have any money. I haven't even finished paying for my car yet.
Jimmy, you don't want to marry me.
I don't want to marry anybody. I mean, not now.
Well, what am I gonna do?
Hell, Laurie, I don't know. A girl's supposed to think about these things in the first place, isn't she?
Jimmy, I think you hate me. Yes. Yes, it's true.
Well, who is it? Tell me, who is it?
Jimmy, of course.
Jimmy. But you haven't seen him for months.
Only on the sly.
How many months pregnant are you, Laurie?
5.
5 months? Oh, Laurie, 5 months? Why didn't you tell me before this?
I was afraid to, Mother.
Afraid? Afraid? Why weren't you afraid not to tell me?
He's got to marry you, that's all. He's got to marry you.
And then what? They're just babies themselves. After they're married, what do? Where do they go? How do they live?
Jimmy doesn't want to marry me.
The good-for-nothing bum.
Of course he doesn't want to get married. He's just a child.
Mother, I don't want to have a baby.
I warned you, didn't I? But you had to know better. There's no greater sin in this world than to have a baby that nobody wants.
She could give the baby up to be adopted.
Oh, Ralph, be still! Yes. Yes. You could have the baby adopted. You could go away. You could have the baby in another town. Let it be adopted. Oh, to think of giving up a grandchild to be adopted. Oh, what are we going to do? Neil, what do you think? Do you think it's too late for her to have an abortion? Oh, this is a mess. Your whole life's in a mess, Laurie. Oh, Laurie.
Just put your books down, Laurie. I would like to talk to you.
Yes?
You know I never interfere with you, Laurie.
Yes.
Well, it's about Jimmy. You're seeing an awful lot of him lately.
We're going together, Mother.
I'm aware of that. Still, it worries me.
Jimmy and I have a real relationship.
That sounds serious for a girl your age.
What's age got to do with it?
Well, aren't you too young to get so involved with someone?
Who's too young for what?
We were just talking about Laurie seeing too much of Jimmy.
Well, pretty girl's bound to have the boys after her. Just watch your step, Laurie, and you'll be okay.
But Neil...
Look, I'm tired. Let's not fuss around. I just want to sit down with a drink and relax.
Look, there's nothing more to talk about. I know what I'm doing.
I hope so, Laurie.
Let's play this smart, Laurie. There's no point in you getting pregnant.
I'll say there isn't.
You can go to a doctor and...
Well, Julie went to this birth control clinic. You know, that building opposite the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, she said they'll give you real good birth control information. You know, just what's right for you.
Perfect.
Will you go with me?
Do you really want me to?
Well, of course. We're in this together, aren't we?
Yeah. Okay. I'll go. You're super, Laurie.
So are you, Jimmy.
You know, I'd rather be with you than anybody in the whole world.
Me too.
You got such pretty hair. And you're smart, Laurie.
We're a smart couple.
You bet. When I think of all the jerks around, I mean, in this day and age, there's no excuse for not knowing what you're doing. Right?
Right. Jimmy, I'd like to go to the movies with Pete and Julie.
Not tonight.
Yes, tonight. We never go anywhere anymore.
We can go another time. What's the use of wasting a good chance to be alone?
That's all you ever think about anymore. Sex.
And what about you?
Okay. Okay.
My mom sure gave me a working over last night about my report card. She said she's going to write and tell my dad about it. Did your parents give you a hard time?
Why should they? I got A's and B's.
We don't have to act so superior about it.
Who's acting superior?
You are.
Cut it out.
Roger's having a party over at his house tonight and wants us to come.
Roger?
What's that tone of voice mean?
Well, you know I don't like Roger and his dumb friends.
What do you mean, dumb?
Just what I said. I don't want to be associated with them.
Well, if it isn't Miss Snooty, okay? I'll go by myself.
Jimmy? I just said I don't know what you're seeing, huh?
I don't see anything in her. I don't know what you're making such a big deal about.
Well, you sure walk down the hall with her often enough.
Can I help it if she's in 2 of my classes?
Great excuse.
Always nagging. You make me sick. Come on, Laurie. You don't own me.
Jimmy, let's not fight like this again. We shouldn't keep fighting like this. Not when we mean so much to each other.
Maybe we're not as suited for each other as we thought.
Jimmy.
Laurie, you know I didn't mean that. Look, we'll be together tonight. Don't cry. You know, Laurie, I've been thinking, what with my going away to visit my dad this summer, and you're staying here and all, that maybe it'd be better if we, well, if we kind of stopped going together exactly.
Better for you, huh?
Better for both of us.
Sure.
Don't be like that. Look, you and I, we've got years ahead of us. All sorts of things can happen.
They already have.
At least you didn't get pregnant.
Yeah. At least I didn't get pregnant.
Are you sorry about us, Laurie?
Sort of. I thought it was for keeps.
I did too. It's just that, well, we haven't gotten along all that well, have we?
No, we have fought a lot lately.
I guess it's like you always said. Sex isn't everything between two people.
No.
Maybe someday it'll be different. Maybe someday we'll get back together again.
Maybe.
Put your books down, Laurie. I want to talk to you.
Okay, Mom. What's on your mind?
Your friend Jimmy's on my mind. I like him, but don't you think you're seeing a bit too much of each other?
I don't know. It could be.
I know you're attracted to him, and it's natural. But being together so constantly...
Are you afraid I'll get pregnant?
Frankly, I'd rather you didn't.
Don't worry. I'm not interested in getting serious. Not yet.
How does Jimmy feel?
Well, I kind of think he might have an idea of, well, you know. But if he asks, I'll tell him no way.
What are my girls talking about?
Sex. What else?
Good subject. Any new angles?
Not really. I guess it's just the same old story, Mom.
I don't know. I think today a girl has more options, what with birth control more available. And on the other hand, there's more pressure for young people to have sex before they're emotionally ready for it.
Now you're sounding like my biology teacher. Don't worry, Mom. Like you always say, I'll look before I leave.
Sound judgment, kid.
I'm sorry, Jimmy, but I'm not about to get pregnant. And I'm not about to take the pill or anything else.
But we've been going together so long. You know how I feel about you. I thought you liked me too.
Well, I do. But I'm not about to go to bed with every boy I like.
Who said every boy? I said me.
Well, I know. But I'm just not in a hurry to try all that. I want to stay the way I am for a while.
Okay.
Look at Marion. She started taking the pill when she was going out with Bob. Now she's going out with a third boyfriend, and she really doesn't like him that much. I mean, where does it all end?
But we're different.
Maybe. But you know how many couples who used to be so thick that don't even talk to each other anymore?
They didn't really love each other either.
Do we? I mean, for always and always? Hi, stranger.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Oh, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Look, I'm sorry. I gotta be off. I got an after-school job. Bag boy at Benson's.
So I heard.
I'm gonna get rid of that old piece of junk I got and buy myself a new car. Can I take you out?
I'd love it.
Great. See, that's what they call a transverse engine.
What's a transverse engine?
Well, it means it comes like this instead of going like that.
Hey!
Like most...
I thought you came to take me for a ride.
I did. Hop in.
Neat. It really is.
I hear you won your tennis challenge match yesterday.
Yeah. I'm moving up into number 4 position. We've got a really good team this year.
Great. You know, Laurie, I was kind of dumb about us. I mean, breaking it off and everything when you didn't see things my way. Well, I've thought it over a lot, and I decided that you were right.
It's nice of you to say that, Jimmy.
I mean it. Honest.
No law against us being friends, is there?
No. I'd like that.
Jimmy, what made you change your mind? I mean, about us and everything.
Well, it's kind of hard to say this, But, I think I was pressuring you so I could prove something to myself. You know, be a big man. Can you understand that?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, there's this guy down where I work. Got himself into one hell of a hassle with this girl he was going with. I'm sure glad I wasn't him.
So?
Well, after hearing his story, you know, it seemed to me that you were sort of sensible about not wanting to risk getting into all that.
You can say that again. I got a lot of places I want to go. I got a lot of things I want to do. And the way I see it, sex can wait until I'm ready for it.
That is one of the few Flota, and I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, films that ends happy. Most of them are very dire. But, excuse me, fascinating film about teen pregnancy, offering you different alternatives. And I think that if mom and dad just talked explicitly about their sex lives, that Laurie would be so grossed out that she would just like, yeah, we're not doing that. But the key is talking, and yes, talking. So if you have kids, talk to them about sex. Talk to them about all the problems. That's my public service announcement. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in today, and keeping the comments relatively sanitized, because we do have kids watching, I think. Yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow, Tuesday, and we've got more films to show and more films to watch, and hopefully you'll be there for us. If you like what you saw, you can donate by hitting the Super Thanks button, which is in the YouTube chat, or you can go to patreon.com/avgeeks or go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks. Those are other ways that you can support us. You can also hit the thumbs up button, the like button, and watch other videos that we have. We've been uploading and posting some more stuff that we've been scanning, some stuff that you've seen from the show, some stuff that we did after the show. So watch that stuff. There's advertising on it, and we get pennies every time you watch. And so thanks so much. Very much appreciate your time and your eyeballs. I hope the pollen is not so bad for you as it is for me. Tomorrow. Take care.